Hey guys, welcome back to another VOD review. So this is from Jiggy, one of the active members of the community. He's been around for a while and admittedly sent this video quite a while ago and we just had a lot of members videos to get through. So here we are. This is Oddball on Recharge. It's around D6 Onyx level. We'll try and highlight some of the things that you see around that level. And just a quick side note, I am operating on about 2 hours sleep right now. So I am feeling a little rough. But if I miss anything or if you feel like you could help other viewers, make sure you leave a comment so that we can help each other get better at the game. So let's get into this game of Oddball on Recharge. So straight away, I like how you tried to go for the curbside and you're going through. One of the things that people often forget on this map is if you're going to push control, you can't just sit in the choke point at the door because you'll just get absolutely nuked. And if the other team has left C open, you have to push through. And he took the initiative there. You either want to push through C or you want to push through to bridge. But you want to do so in a way that you use this pillar for cover, because someone could come triple stack and flank through this door. So you want to be really careful. Use the pillars. You see in this fight, we're not really using the pillar that much. I feel like if you used the pillar, you maybe would have got away with not being traded. And then teammate also gets a kill as well. So we've got numbers for a little bit. Quick note here, the teams at the bottom. There's a bit of a visual issue at the minute where the player submitting the video is actually on the right-hand side, whereas it usually shows them on the left. So just be aware of that. The player we're watching is on the green team, not the purple team. I like how you went for gold. Gold is a very big power position on this map. You want to make sure that you're always trying to keep that. It's got a very good area of crossfire. It's got the high ground compared to other areas. And it also allows you to either retreat to A or C, depending what happens. I feel like your crosshair placement potentially could have been a little bit better there as you went around the corner. So if we just look at this scenario as it unfolds, when we peek around doors, and we've done this a lot recently on the channel, you want to make sure, so here, you are peeking, but as you move, you want to sort of move this way. Because if you're going to commit to the door, you don't want to be peeking it or being on top of it. And you see how because you hug the door as you go around, you've got a very sort of narrow angle. And then you're hugging the wall on this side now, so you're almost doing the same thing in opposite. So once you've covered that threshold of the door, you want to peek sort of using this route here. And then using the wall there as cover. Because you're hugging the wall, this guy just zips out from behind the wall and it's really confusing for both of you. So look how close you are. And you actually pre-aimed a little early as well. So if you are going to hug the wall like this, you want to be tracking as you go over like that. You pre-aimed a little early. You were sort of aiming at the wall. So you do manage to get him in the end. Plasma pistol using the tap fire is actually very effective. I recommend it since they nerfed the charge. But yeah, just a little thing when you peek in corners there. Try to be careful. Try to peek it wide, especially if you're going into unknown areas. But we clean up. We get some nice team fire. And you could argue here there was an opportunity to grab the ball. I think knowing that these two players were going to die, I think you could have grabbed the ball there. As it was falling, I think you could have walked and grabbed it and then gone back batteries, and your teammates potentially could have helped you out a little bit. Because they're on C, so they could have crossed. But in the scenario like this, it's hard to recognize that very quickly. You would have got some scrappy ball time. You would have probably died. But, you know, it's subjective. So sometimes it's worth dying for the objective, but you just have to guess when. Because here you give up gold. We get 1 kill, and then we start getting shot in the back as well because we leave it open. So remember on this map, if you're in this area, if you're in the batteries area, you're stopping them from spawning in gold. But your teammates push this way, and you push this way. So the only safe place is now behind you. And this is actually a really common issue on maps like Streets as well, where people will push mid and get shot from C. Yeah, this is the recharge equivalent where you push long haul and whirlpool. So you get spawned at gold and you get shot in the ass. So you got to be really careful if you're going to do this. You really should have gone this way. Because going this way leaves you on the bridge and down. Leaves you open to attic, and that's exactly what happened. So just be careful about rotations on this map. I think you were well in your rights to take that fight there. Especially with the collapse coming in from top A as well. And that leads to you getting crossfired by those two guys there. So it's just a little bit of isolation. Just make sure that when you're taking fights, you're not open to 2 angles. Easy to say, difficult to do. Needs fine-tuning to get to Onyx 1550 plus. You've got to be very good at it. Taking space is good. I feel like in this fight here, it was the pre-aim again. I feel like your aim is decent, but your pre-aim's a little sloppy sometimes. So as we're coming around this corner, in fact, let's go right to the beginning of this sequence here. So as I'm going around this corner here, you want to cover key areas. So you want to pre-aim here, and then as you go around, you do what's called pieing the corner. So you can search this online. But if you imagine that the corner is a cone like this, you want to split that cone into sections, and as you go around the corner, you will clear those sections in order as you peek. Yeah, so we would go that way. Okay, so this is pie in the corner. So we would look at the front of C, which we've already done because we're here. Then we'd look at the back of the large turbine here. Then we'd start to look along the wall. Then we'd look next to the box. Then we'd look around the box into control. Whereas here, if there was an enemy here, and we know the ball's there, they would have got first shot there and you would have died. So it's the crosshair placement and getting first shot in Halo, even though the TTKs are a lot longer, the time to kills, it's very important that your crosshair placement is good. And here, you're sort of aiming at the wall for a while, almost like you're expecting someone to be behind this box, whereas really you should have been tracking across and finishing here rather than starting here. You spent a lot of time not really aiming at anything. And here as we go, we want to be tracking threats as we go across, so we might track up to the top. And then as we move this way, we would then look down. And then as we move around even further, we would look into the doorway. And then finally, as we got to the threshold, we'd be able to see if anyone's in the corner, which they are. So now we'd be looking here. We've looked here, then we look here. See how we were late to sort of do that? So you were like doing... You were looking at the door, but in looking at the door for so long, you've allowed this guy to get first shot. And I think he's sprinting for some reason. I've got no idea what he's doing. But he definitely should have killed you here. But then you use the wall to cut him off and you dodge his nade. So that's a win for you, but it's just... Again, it's trying to avoid sloppy fights. Teammates pushing here, but you can't because you're weak. Playing your life is important. Just throw yourself away. Nade bounce there was a little late. I feel like once the fight had already started, you could have probably just gone in there. More of that type of movement. So if you're a keyboard player, look what he does here. He does sprint slide, and then he just sprint slide back. That is the sort of stuff that you need to be using around pillars like this. And loads of keyboard players that I coach, they just don't do it. You need to do it because controller players can't do that. And you have to throw their aim assist off. We have better movement, they have better aim assist. So you need to be capitalizing that. And I'm going to try and point out if he does it again. As always, I haven't seen this video prior, so I don't actually know. But if you're a keyboard player, get that stuff into your gameplay. It will help a lot. Okay, common setup here is top gold. We've got an ally who's weak. We've got someone who's dead long in this corner here and not a return kill. So there may be someone here. And the kill feed's a little weird on theatre. We've got someone pushing this way. And we've got an ally going this way. So you need to be really careful here because the spawners could either come from A or they could come from C. So for you, time is of the essence. You need to get in there. You need to either go through Trippy and go up. Or we need to make sure that we end up helping by going up onto batteries. But you've got to make a decision here. You've got to make a decision. You can't stay mid because you're going to get shot in the ass by the spawners. Okay, we end at bottom. Are we going to do the trippy jump? We're going to go the long way. Okay, we've spawned here. This tells us the enemy's spawning A. Other teams played the ball. That's well played by them. If you're in platinum or gold, make sure when you lose control of the ball that you take it from a position you're saving it. And you make it very difficult for the opponents to set up in that location. So in this case, playing the ball mid. Prioritization of getting a good location is important. I like how you went to set up for gold for your teammates rather than going for the ball. That's the right call. Doesn't matter if the enemy team gets the ball if we kill them all, although they are winning on time right now. That guy was way too close to the wall. That's why you got him. So here your team's holding gold, so I like how you held back there. Remember, when you're playing an objective game type, if we imagine that it's like a field, if the ball carrier's on the field here, yeah, or you want to be in front of him. If you're defending the ball carrier, you want to be in front of him. So we might put a player here, we might put a player here, we might put a player here. This means the enemies have to waste their time fighting your teammates before they get to you. And one of the things we've said a lot recently is that in Platinum, in Low Diamond, and especially in Gold, if there's any sort of organization around the team, what's usually happening is that the team are all just sitting on top of the ball carrier like this. So they get all of the map control while you hold the objective. In this case here, you can see that this guy's fighting immediately in front of the ball carrier, and there's not really anything you can do other than retreat. So we want to make sure that when our ally has the ball or has the flag, you need to be in front of them or in between the enemy and them to help score objective time. And if you have to die to do that, then you have to accept that, because that's how you win. You don't just win these game types by playing Slayer. You have to be clever about cutting enemies off. Playing the ball there was good. It was a risky scenario. They've taken the ball. That guy ended up in a bad situation because his teammate left him for dead. And it's getting very scrappy now. Playing life again and retreating. Picking up the equipment. Very good. Reload was maybe a little unnecessary. And again, using the plasma pistol here. So the plasma pistol spam fire is actually very effective. And that was a really good trade out. The 2v2, securing both kills and only losing one player. I just think here, sort of, if we go back to the rotation that was going on there, we've killed all the enemy teammates up there. Our ball carrier is getting shot from this direction, presume. And if that's the case, we should assume the enemy team's pushing this way. Actually, can't see the right line. They are. He's there. So they're pushing this way. So if you take fire from Catwalk and then nothing's happening, they're probably pushing this way, which means that we're about to run into them. So you're now in between two fronts. You can't stay here. But going this way was the worst way you could have gone, because now you're open to both angles. You couldn't stay at Trippy Box. Agreed. But I think you should have just gone that way. I think here, trying to get the cross from this location, this is a very open and dangerous location. It's not worth it. Because you're just going to get stuck at the Trippy Box, and then you just can't do anything. You're just completely pinned, because they'll just push around to gold, and then you die. So there, going long haul was probably the right play. Just getting caught out. Grapple's great for movement, but it doesn't make you invincible. Nice slide off thing there. Could have had a little bit of better crosshair placement, but you still managed to four-shot him somehow. Pushing past your teammate as he gets camo is good. Try and secure the camo. I like your lack of selfishness in your gameplay. You know when to play life and when to be at the front so that you can help other players have their moment and have their power-ups have maximum effect. That guy just did the exact opposite of Slay first, so he shouldn't have tried to run with the ball at all. He should have just stayed put, because if Jiggy grabbed the ball, he would have got the jump on him. But by dropping down and grabbing the ball, he gave himself away and he died for it. So that was patience and pacing mistake from the opponent there. Staying in the gold corner stairs is a bit risky. The long haul rotation's okay, but again, look, we're getting pinned in Trippy. We need to leave. Bit of a windmill there. Let's go back and watch what happened. So staying in gold is okay, but here, this gold stair, if you don't comfortably own one of the sides, is very risky to sit on because it's just such a nade hole. So as we go down, you kind of did pie the corner as you went around there. You looked from the tower to control, sorry, to A. So you kind of did it, and then you almost looked a little towards Whirlpool as well. So there is a little bit of that going on. But when we check here, your keyboard movement should allow you to slide that way. I know there wasn't a lot of time. It's 0.4 seconds, by the way, for a frag once it hits the ground. It was just a little bit of a missed opportunity there. And then that fight there, you see the windmill again. So you want to be really careful when you're engaging in fights like this. We need to make sure the crosshair is controlled. So first of all, if we're sprinting, we just need to get out, like we said. We kind of do. But then because we're in between, we still want to peek this corner really wide because that will give us cover from battle edge. So you do start to peek it a little wide. I would have liked you to see you go out a little more. But then look, you're aiming at the wall again. So you have this habit. I think what we see here is you've got a habit of when you're trying to peek corners, you're not like pieing as you go around. You're just aiming at the wall and letting the crosshair go across, which I get the logic, but that means if you slide out and the opponent is in front of the crosshair, like this guy is here, it just doesn't work. They just get the first shot. So now you're frantically trying to correct while you're sliding through the air. The aim assist shafted you on this. Get rid of keyboard aim assist, please, 343. Because it's sticking to, it pulled you off with that guy, and then it tried to stick you to the other guy. And now we're sort of just in the air because we've jumped. So in this scenario, you just want to try and take one of them with you. And I think the only thing you can do is try and sprint towards the box and get a melee, but you're in the air against two people, so you're most likely dead just because of the peak. And then there's just a bit of panic. And then the other guy gets you. So you just, that was all due to peeking the corner and how you sort of proceeded around. You could have got some damage from the wall. The guy at battle edge, you know, you either get shot by two guys or shot by one guy. I know which one I'm going to pick. Enemy team's got gold as far as we know. A little bit of desperation there, sort of not checking. As you go around this corner, you want to stand here and look that way. And then move this way and then look the other way. You got to be really careful going through his doorway. Because look, that guy, the halo timing is unreal. He threw the nade and you were just looking. And then it's sort of this windmill stuff again. No idea how you got that kill on that guy. I think your teammate must have helped you out. This pinch is good. Let's be quick. We don't know if anyone else is there. Let's go quick. Guys, there must have been a little bit of lag here because you were shooting the wall there. I feel like hanging back here is kind of dangerous. Okay, I thought you were going to go C. The bridge is okay, but you've not checked control, so you could get flanked. Just by being here, you're being a nuisance, but you're forcing the enemy team to spawn on the other side of the map now, so your team needs to recognize that you're forcing C spawns now. Ooh, good attempt at a remote detonation, but you just picked those up. You were wasting their time though, so it was effective. And you always want to try and waste their time, and you are taking space like we've said. Your team is sort of not following that initiative. So look out, so here, this is a really good explanation or example rather of what I said not to do. So notice how all his team are up in the gold area there. So this means that the enemy team can push Whirlpool with no consequences. It means they can push Long Haul with no consequences. It means they can run around bot mid here with no consequences. Don't do this. Do not do this. Yeah, you have to make sure, you know, you might have a guy in attic. You might have a guy chilling out up here. You might have a guy chilling out in heaven up in the Whirlpool. You might have a guy chilling maybe on the fin in Whirlpool or looking Long Haul or something like that. And that gives us space and it gives us time. If you all sit in the top gold, you're giving the enemy team time and space and control of the map. So they can establish crossfires, they can take power-ups, and they can get flanks. Don't do this. So even though your teammate did win out the fight there, that was your time to try and flank really hard. Playing life with camo is good. We want to be really sneaky. We want to be... When we got the camo, we want to be trying to find information. It's nice. This is a great flank. Press, press, press. So as soon as that guy died, you need to press really fast. Flank. Good flank. So that flank and camo, I think, just won you the game there. And then now you're just being a nuisance. We're not overcommitting. But we're wasting their time. I hope you wasted their time enough. This is a close one. Will be the last round of the video, by the way, guys. Just because it was this one round, but I felt like it was a good round that highlights a lot of things. So now, I really disagree with this push here. We've sent 3 people gold stairs. We're just going to get absolutely naded out. Your position here is good. your team potentially could have sent 2 up gold stairs and maybe gone up onto the top and naded it. Let's see what happens. Because I think you end up nading your teammates there. Yeah, you did. You did a lot of nade damage to your teammates there. Oh no. That's so sad. Let's just verify that. Is there any way we can see? So that's 1 nade. Get 1 guy. I think that's your nade there. I think your double nade maybe killed your team there. Oh, for those of you that don't know, the ball does have a very slightly faster melee. So if you get double hit by the ball, it's because it's got a slightly faster melee. So you don't want to go in for melee trades with the ball. And you lose the round. So that's the end of the video, guys. So a few things here that we've talked about in this video. So number 1, make sure you've got good habits when you're pieing corners. So you want to be standing in a way that allows you to see the maximum angle and then almost tilt in your corner as you go around, especially in choke points. We want to be paying attention to if we push lanes, if our team is pushing the left side of the map and we're pushing the center or right side of the map, are we going to get spawners behind us? And if that's the case, should we push that way? Remember streets and sea, that's a really common example of that. But here, there's Long Haul and Whirlpool, and they spawn gold behind him. And then thirdly, when you've got the objective, take space on the map. Don't let the enemy team get to you and then fight. Waste their time. Because if you fight them, they have to go through you. And then even if you die, that's more objective time. And the ball carrier gets time to play the ball. You have to try to take space on maps on Halo. It's so important. But that's it for today. Just the 1 round. Sorry it's not a full game, but I did promise I would look at this video if this person had been waiting for a very long time. So hopefully it's useful to them. But in the meantime, guys, enjoy the rest of your week. I'll have been on holiday. We'll be back to normal next week with some more streams and things like that. But for now, I'm Vanadam. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. See you later.